very shortly. And next, we were talking about what we will be in the future. I think just
My name is Emmy. Nice to meet you. I work and also my name is Nori. I joined I don't this month. That was last researcher in South America. This is actually my first time
We started talking about what we want to do in the future. We found out that there's some problems we have now. That's gender role, the work-life balance, too much work. Some husband cannot come home until 12, 1 o'clock. It's that's disaster. It's very difficult to have a happy life. And the other idea, this is a problem, but if we find out the problem, it's going to be needs. So we can provide some solutions, right? So the solutions, maybe technology can help us to provide something. So what we talking about is maybe the robot will occupy any job, everything. Do you think so? Do you believe it? Truly? Actually, we got an answer that if we could be creative, maybe we can keep our job. Because robot will learn through human behaviors, right? AI learns through human behaviors. So if we forward in a creative way, robot cannot be forward out from us, right? That's the idea. And so there are many ideas we got. When person would like to keep working to the same place because he loves it. He knows his technology can help people in the world, society. And one lady wants to work in a remote working at the remote because she has a dream to be a great author. Wow, wonderful. And someone, the lady, I'm sorry, I should introduce you or your name.
That's okay.
Yeah, and so she is a great translator at work now. She wants to keep studying for the special things technology, mechanics, and because even though they're in automotive companies, many robots can make the cars. But to maintain the cars, it's impossible for robots to do because there's the delicate way to things. So many mechanics work for it. So she knows many mechanic special ways to understand what to translate to to the world. That's very productive, I think. And one thing we found is technology makes people have more. Okay, so one thing when we didn't have the washing machines, ladies washed the clothes by hand. It takes long time, but now washing machine works. So they, as for cooking, do you know like how long time women cook in a day? Like an average time? Guess.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
An hour?
2 hours? And
An hour? 1
An
hour
hour?
a day?
actually, answer is 9 minutes.
9 minutes?
So this is like going to be researched by Ajinomoto.
Oh.
So that means like not only the housewife, but like maybe single ladies, and also it's like microwave and convenience stores and many things. Anyway, like life is getting easier and easier now. So this it's kind of a technology thing. So that means like we can get more time to work more. So now we can have not only one job, but like 2 or 3, any what we want. Yeah.
What about men? I mean, it seems like all the ladies. I just heard this morning that in the U.S. at least, more men are doing the laundry. So they are P&G and all these companies are really changing their product as well as their marketing. And I think it's because of the single household. There are lots and lots of single household. At the same time, a little bit of expectation as to the roles of the couples. So both. So it's not going to be any more lavender flavor.
I see.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting. Okay, good.
So yeah, sorry. So the human, So that what we wanted to say is like we can have like a technical job and also like a humanistic job as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good. So
Let me explain. So first one is global. Global means like so most of our members said we want to be global. I mean that means we want to work globally.
Okay.
Yeah. So and I think after the fourth industrial revolution, more people will have opportunities to work abroad, and more foreigners will come work in Japan. So I think that should happen. Yeah, in 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
Yes, like I guess when we kind of like started this kind of like seminar, right? We kind of like first of all discussed like what kind of jobs were there like 5-10 years ago, but what it is not now here, and but like what is kind of like appearing, what is kind of like disappearing now, but what we're going to like have in the future, that kind of thing. So I guess that kind of like trend has been kind of changing in Japan as well. Maybe like before, maybe like 10 years, 20 years before, maybe like people were kind of like happy with the jobs that they have in Japan, and they're kind of like happy with like working with like only within Japan, but because like they have a lot more opportunities communicating with like people from different countries and different cultures, and a lot of access from the internet and everything. So people kind of like, well, our group kind of like, I felt that many people are kind of like starting to think more about like abroad and like trying to get outside of Japan. So that was the kind of the one keyword that we came out of from like our discussion here.
Okay.
And second kind of like communication was maybe this is kind of like something similar, but like by having a means of like means of like communication, trying to kind of like connecting, or I guess it's kind of like similar like connection. But
Yeah,
like,
but I mean that's
connecting like people with people, maybe like connecting like some products with people, connecting like some information with people. By doing that, people have an opportunity to meet like new people. People have an opportunity to get in touch with like new information that they didn't know. People have an access to the product, products that they didn't know, but it's so useful, right? So these are the things that some people like raise their voice in, like they enjoy being engaged in doing that, and that's what they want to be doing in the future. And actually, although we wrote kind of like communication connection, I think another thing that we kind of like came up out of our discussion was like kind of providing creating an opportunity is something that is going to be like very, very important. Because like some of the people here kind of like were saying that, well, he is working for a company which exports used cars to like African countries, and that's kind of like actually okay. When you kind of like hear that, maybe well he's kind of like selling cars to like African nations, and African nation people have an access to that used car, right? But it's actually like he's kind of like providing a platform of these like in the African market where people can actually sell these cars to like people in Africa. So this is kind of like creating this kind of platform where people can maximize their like opportunities to do something that they weren't able to do before. So that's kind of like providing an opportunity and like opening up possibilities for those people, and was like something that we kind of like thought was in common from our ideas in terms of what we want to do in the future.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
In a narrow-minded company, organization, institution, every time.
That's a sad story.
You tend to lose your way. But still, if you find some alternative, like our member Yusuke gave us a quite interesting story that he was his previous company didn't appreciate him, evaluate him, but he got disappointed. But he finds the place where he can be passionate, which is TEDx Tokyo, and he spent his energy there. Then all of a sudden he got an inquiry, direct hiring from Google through his LinkedIn, and his activity at TEDx Tokyo helped the interview process a lot. Then the implication is that if you cannot have clear goal or target or something you can passionate at where you are spending most of your time, you can find some alternatives. It's something like Google's 20% rule.
Okay.
And keep your eyes wide open. Keep your freedom or liberty of your mind. And if you cannot be the leader of that activity, you can also be the contributor or supporter of the activity. That's the insight we got through our discussion. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So we don't have to be an initiator all the time.
Actually, more than half of us wanted to change our job, and two of the person actually was searching for a new job. So like, but we were in a really different jobs. Like we were doing a lot of different jobs. One was from pharmaceutical company, one was from trading company, one was from retailer or company in HR division. So, and one of them has a really specialized in one area, one or more generalist. But we found out that we have a lot of diverse interests, and so that we all, like most of us wanted to change our job, but actually specialists want to be a generalists want to be a specialists want to be a different specialist. For example, one of our members wanted to be used to be doing a market communication, but she actually wanted to change to accounting. And then we were talking about, isn't it accounting going to the market's going to decrease?
The potential.
So we were, we were supposed to talk about fourth industrial revolution and accounting. The work in accounting area will decrease probably, but we still want to do that field. And we noticed that, and even though there's a fourth industrial revolution, there's things that we wanted to do and we don't want it to do. But at least we found out that maybe fourth industrial revolution will lead us to more flexible work, and that will lead to do what we really want to do. That's what we discussed.
And the other one is the recording, so like the DVD. So then we start talking about, oh, okay, so then your business is not going to survive. But then well, there's some discussion going on, and then we're like, okay, no, not really, because at some point, there's some company will remain. So for example, reporting company, they're already doing some changes in the sense of that, like you're taking some private order from customers. Instead of going through, like Minami-san mentioned that, instead of going through all these channels, take an order from directly from customers and then make it customized and sell it. So that kind of change is already happening, even though in these industries that may not survive or may not be the bigger industry for the future. So that was one of the areas that we discussed about. And then also one of the members is actually looking for a job. So then we start talking about, okay, so when you look for a job, what do you actually think about it, or what is your next job? And he was thinking for just a very short step ahead. But then if you think about the farther future, what do you think that what you need to do or what you need to be? And then we start talking about, okay, kind of criteria that what we want to have, thinking of this surviving in the fourth industrial revolution. So then one of the topic came out is being flexible, because world is changing so quickly. So then flexible in a sense like many different ways, like maybe you have your core skill, but then able to actually pivot depending on the situation. So that kind of flexibility that we need. And then also, I heard that many people also talk about global, but we talked about in a different way that we talked about open up yourself. So then it doesn't have to be you go abroad, but then there are many people come to our country as well. So then be yourself, yourself to open up to the rest of the world. I think that's the important point. And the third point is that having ambition or have a dream. Because if you don't have a dream, then how are you going to actually look for a job? So that's another point. But actually, the team member mentioned a very good point. He likes music and he likes soccer and baseball, so he wanted to work for the football association in the future. So that is very strong vision that he has. And standard communication skill, I think many of the other team mentioned. And then lastly, be yourself or find yourself, because things are changing. If you don't have yourself, then you cannot find a job that you wanted to do. Anything you want to add from my team?
Let's go to the next one.
Anyway, common keyword is flexibility. So it means everyone wants to have flexibility. Everyone wants to have adequate time to spend our life. So that was represents our common notion, work, learn, generally with speaking, work-life balance. So some person says work 3 days, learn 2 days. So we're now working so hard. So in a sense, we want to be unleashed, and we want to have our private time. So what can bring up this flexibility? Undoubtedly, it might be technology. For example, in the future, AI or robot can take the place of a job. So the situation will bring up the situation in which we don't need to work so hard. We can spare our private own time. But this is my dream. It's unique and weird. I just want to be known as a loser replaced by the robot. It's my weird dream. I'm just now studying about AI. So I'm just now joining the project to develop AI. So I hope as a result, AI will be my successor. So I'm a professional skilled worker, but everybody's maybe worried about the future you might lose your job replaced by the robot AI. And many people will think it's really so undesirable things, but I really want to see that work. I really want the first person known as the loser replaced by the robot. It's remarkable. And so only one person hasn't expressed what she wants to be. Sari-san. Yeah. Sari-san said, what Sari-san was saying is that means that she has already has been what she wanted to be. So she didn't, she don't need to change. So what we want to be in the future means, in a sense, we want to change our life. We want to be a different one. So, but Sari-san is already realized what she wants to be. So, when we think about what we want to be, so we are likely to think how we change, but it's necessary to think in that way. And in the discussion, the end of discussion, Sayuri-san also says, no one mentioned about family. No one mentioned about how to spend our life with family. We didn't delve into this topic, so we don't know why it came from. But maybe we are likely to think what we want to be is in the context of what kind of job we want to be. But before this discussion, Yoko Sensei said we talk about what I want to be, but Yoko Sensei didn't define what is what. It is about job, so whatever it would be. So, but we are likely to think about the job. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's do the last.
People and creating value. Robot has a lot of data, and maybe they will analyze, but we need to collaborate to make value, or collaborate and help people. Then, please, we try to wrap up with the framework, what, how, where, others, but is what they want to be in. Maybe the people who versus AI or robot. I'm sorry, I forgot the meaning. Any help?
This is just summarize on this one. I'd like to explain about 4 things. About what they want to do and how they work and where they work and others. About what they want to do is, as she said, these days many jobs are done by AI or robots, so it can take place of our jobs. So we should do what only human can do. And about how we work is to do this, we do not focus on one job or one skill. Keyword is communication. For example, just providing the knowledge is a skill that AI or robots can do. So additionally, we have to communicate or do something that
only human can do or something.
Inspire?
Inspire or something, yeah. And where is not only Japan but also many countries. And others is to help young generation or to get many clients or something. That's all.
I think a lot of people are just kind of scared of technology, but you can really use the technology because you are the king after all. And so I think that's one of the things that we could figure out. I also have an impression that some of you seem to be to feel that you are sort of closed and taken your time by somebody else, by the company, by the work, or whatever. So you don't have a control over how you spend your time. So that's something that I've noticed. And I also noticed that quite a few of you are interested in changing the job. I think that may be the reason why we have so many people today. And, but I think it's always a very good idea, to have some options, to always look for alternatives, because that doesn't, that helps. You don't have to see. Whenever you think that this is the only thing that I could do, you feel very enclosed. And I don't like that, being cornered type of impression. So I hope you to be open, and I hope you to be much sort of creative in your thinking. And even though you want to be global, you don't have to be physically in many different countries. So there's so many ways that you can open up and find out what's going on. So I think I think Fourth Industrial Revolution means that you can free yourself from all the conventional wisdom, so to speak. So the mindset and the theories and so forth. So you can just try something very different. Let me see if where is Minami-san? Is she gone? Seems like we lost her. Okay. I was going to ask this impression, but anyway, so that's, how many of you feel a little more optimistic now than before? If we compare the beginning or the time before you come to the session and now, do you feel more optimistic or do you feel a little more worried? Those are the two choices. Okay? How many of you feel a little more optimistic? Good. How many of you are a little more worried? Okay. We should get you the drinks to get them drunk and be happy. Thank you very much. There are two things. Next session is on the 18th of March. And we're going to try something quite interesting, I think. Any one of you can offer the item at the auction. And any one of you can bid. And the item on the auction needs to be an experience. Built based upon your expertise or hidden skills or something like that. And so, and I think we really need to find out the value of our expertise or the value of our own. And this is a very interesting way to find out. So I hope many of you will offer and many of you will bid.